Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. In anticipation of the launch of my new book, Pinky Swear, I have invited some of my very favorite authors to join me for a Pinky Swear confession. And today I have the honor of having Kimberly Belle here with us. Kimberly, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to chat with
I
you.
know exactly. And Kimberly and I go way, way back. Kimberly is the Edgar Award-winning USA Today and internationally best-selling author with over 1.5 million copies sold worldwide. Her titles include The Paris Widow, The Marriage Lie, a Goodreads Choice Awards semi-finalist for Best Mystery and Thriller, and the co-authored #1 Audible original Young Rich Widows series. And her latest book, oh, that's my book. Her latest book is The Expat Affair, which if you have not read it, go grab that now. Thank you for coming, Kim.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so we're going to start out and we're asking you for a fun, juicy friend confession. Something from maybe your childhood. Do you have something juicy to share with us?
I do. I guess it's from my childhood. So I have a friend, had a friend. Um,
Oh
yeah, and
no.
let's hope she's not watching.
Oh
She'll
yeah,
probably
okay.
have a very different take on this, but here's my take. So I've known this woman, since I was 15. She was 14. We were BFFs, high school, all through college, although we went to different colleges. After college, I moved abroad, but we stayed in touch. Our daughters were, born around the same time, so they were always big buddies. She visited me, I visited her, the whole thing. We stayed in touch. And then, like 15 years after graduating from high school, we finally end up back in the same city here in Atlanta. And not just in the same city, but literally 13 houses down from each other. Same neighborhood, the whole thing. I move in, I think, great. We are going to pick right up where we left off. Everything's going to be great. And it was just weird. I would text her. She would like ignore my texts. I would call. She would ignore my calls. It was just strange. And, eventually she would call me back and she'd be like, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, there was always an excuse, right? But those periods just got bigger and bigger and farther apart. And then finally, after much banging my head against the wall and frustration and hurt feelings and all the
Yeah, yeah.
emotions, someone said to me, another friend, perhaps a better friend, said, just because she's one of your oldest friends doesn't mean she's still worthy of that title in your life. And I was like, dang, that's really good and deep. And I am going to put the exact amount of effort into the relationship as she did. And guess what happened?
You guys stopped talking,
Nothing.
right?
I haven't seen her in years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what happened. I still have no idea why. If I did something, I'm like, tell me.
Well,
But
yeah, you can't be a mind reader. It's hard not to get in your head about that stuff, right? Like I
it
find like
is.
I would be like, "Oh my God, what did I do?"
Yeah.
Is she offended by, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Like,
huh.
does she hate my husband? Like, what? Like,
Your
what's,
husband's
you
unhateable.
know? But
Yeah.
also, ghosting someone is, I don't know if you've ever been ghosted, but it's super painful. It's not cool. Don't ghost people. That's
It's
the
right.
lesson
If
here.
you have if you have a problem with someone, there's a lot of ways to resolve it. And if you need
Right.
space and want space, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you sort of separate yourself. Maybe she just felt insecure. I mean, I have to believe
I
the
mean,
problem's
those were
her.
all the things that go through your head, right? But you can make yourself crazy from it.
You can make it. There's so many good ways to make yourself crazy. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, but I think the other friend was right. Like, right?
Yeah,
Like, people
I
don't,
agree.
if they don't treat you well, then the only solution is to be like, okay.
Yeah,
There's too
yeah,
many people. First of all, I don't know about you, but I feel like very small group of very close friends is
agreed.
all I need. And,
I agree.
and I have friends that I see like you like once or twice a year. And when we see each other, it's like so much fun. And then no hard feelings that we probably lose
Yep,
touch, right?
right. Yeah,
So,
yeah. And that's the beauty of social media too. I know what you're up to. It's
yes, you
not like
do.
I'm not thinking about you. I'm like,
That's
oh,
right.
look, there's Danielle.
Yes, exactly. And we celebrate each other's books and milestones
Yeah,
and families and stuff. So
yeah,
anyway, well,
exactly.
thank you for sharing that and her loss. That's what I
Yeah.
said about that.
Well, thank
Pure
you.
loss. All right, now, do you have a question for me?
I do. Can we talk about pinky swear?
I would
Because
love to talk about Pinky Swear.
I
And thank
love,
you. Kimberly gave me a beautiful blurb for Pinky Swear, which I'm so grateful for.
yeah,
So she got
I
to read it
love
first.
it. Okay, so I want to talk about the notebook that the girls share in high school in Pinky Swear. And it's so, the passages are so powerful. Was that inspired by your own friendship drama?
So that's so funny. So, did you do that? Did you guys share? Did you have notebooks that you passed? I don't think it was a thing of our generation. I feel like
Um,
you and I are the same generation.
yeah, we
But
are.
I was trying to figure out how to sort of bring in the voices of them at that age because
Yeah,
they're in high school in 2008, which is not when
right.
I was in high school.
Me neither. I think you and
That's
I were in high school at the same time.
exactly.
I
So,
graduated a year or two ahead of you.
no, I don't even know if that's true. But anyway, but the point is it was not 2008. In fact, by then I think we probably each had a couple of kids, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Exactly.
But it was my editor's idea, and there was a famous and I don't remember the name of it, but there was a famous book that was published that was sort of like a girl whose friends did this thing where they passed this journal around, and then she actually edited it and published it. And I thought it was so clever, and they did it a little bit differently. In my case, they put like the name of like a science course on the outside because of course no one's going to look at it with
Right.
biology and be like, oh, that must be something that they're not supposed to be
Smart.
doing. But I thought, I think it's interesting. Like if you think about, we used to pass, of course, we passed notes, but those got
Yes.
intercepted,
Right.
and this was long, of course, before we didn't have, phones.
Right.
And I think even that, your parents take your phone away, so it was not my idea, but I thought it was such a clever idea. And once I got into it, it was so much fun because they had all
Yeah.
these rules, right?
Yeah.
You cannot no writing each other outside the journal, no erasing things. It has to be the truth. It has to go in a certain order. It
Yeah.
became a really sort of fun way. And the things that I mean, as a teenage girl, the things girls,
Share, like best friends share, right? Which was also why it was so painful when this ex-friend ghosted me, because I was like, we have such a strong history, right? Because you tell them, especially at that age, you're saying things that you tell no other human beings.
and it's a little. I always found it also a little unnerving just how much they know about us,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I mean, it's like just all the sort of like because all the sort of embarrassing, shameful,
Yeah.
dangerous, stupid things we did as teenagers that those friends are walking around with that knowledge, right?
Yeah, and it's written down in your handwriting, like you could
Yes.
never run for office.
Yeah, I think running for office was sort of out for me early on, but yes, exactly. There's no running for office, so it's so true.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. All right. I had another one. Let's talk about the opening scene because I love that. And it was so visceral. Like you hit the ground running. How did you decide to build the story from that? Was that something that you knew right away going in, or did that come later too?
It's funny. I feel like, and you know this too, like a lot of books start out with like in the initial scene of the book is also like where the story starts. And
Yeah.
it's, somebody's dying or I mean,
Yeah.
as we write thrillers, like there's always some sort of like really big and some of them might have been like, somebody's hiding in a closet from somebody who's an active shooting or, in a home
Right.
or whatever. And this book didn't start that way. It started has sort of a slower start. And I felt like I needed to pull some sort of higher tension, higher stakes, more dramatic scene to the front. And the scene that is the prologue is really like where the main character is just losing her shit,
Yeah.
trying to find her baby and the
Yeah.
woman who, her best friend who's the surrogate who's carrying the baby. So I think for me, I wrote it in, originally I wrote the book in order, right? And it starts when the two women are living together and their surrogate is pregnant and it's like 16 days before the baby's due. But I
Yeah.
realized, readers want that sort of taste of something really
Yeah.
dramatic right at the beginning. And
Well,
so I
and
felt
that's
like,
it. It's a glimpse of kind of like where the story's going, but you don't know how it's going to get there.
yeah. And I feel like you've done that. You've done that in books too. I mean, and I feel like it is a little bit. it gets the reader on and then you go back to sort of the normal
Yeah.
version of her, and you're like, whoa, how does she get from here to there?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, I think, really fun. So
It was
I'm glad you
amazing.
liked that. It was fun to put that right up front. And
Yeah.
she seems crazy at that point. She seems
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah, she does.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
ready. I mean, she is knives out, ready to, I mean, yeah, she's ready to sort of like kill somebody for information about where her, her child is.
Well, and you can understand that too as a reader, right? Like this is her kid, right?
I
Like
know,
the
and
thing that
we're
she's
moms.
wanted and has given up
I know.
a lot of things in her life for,
Yeah, I know.
right?
Wouldn't you do for your child? And
Right.
it's interesting that there's a lot of fun layers to Lexi, which I didn't experience. Obviously, I was able to have both of my babies on my own. But I
Mhm.
think there's something really interesting about this sort of psychology of being a woman who can't carry a
Yep.
pregnancy, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
such a like it taps into this sort of core thing we're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to do.
Yeah.
And the failure I think that she experiences, and then sort of the envy that she feels, even though her
Yep.
best friend is doing this amazing thing for her,
Yeah.
there's also such envy that her friend can do something that she can't.
Yeah.
And I think those things really, the ugly sort of thoughts we have around stuff like that it was fun to explore.
Yeah.
Because I think, women, there's so much pressure put on us around
Yeah.
motherhood and when we're supposed to do it and how we're supposed to do it and what's the right way. It's just, God, it's so impossible. And then
Yeah.
once you have a baby, right, there's all the right ways to do everything
Oh,
else.
yeah. It doesn't stop once that baby is, here. It just
Oh.
keeps going. Everybody has an opinion.
Everybody, and I kind of, that's for me, I think that's the sort of space I want to explore now. I mean, at this age, my children are grown. Whatever I did right or wrong, it's already done, but I love exploring sort of like, all the ways I mean, parents, but mothers, I think in particular, twist ourselves into knots to
Yeah.
try to like, have a perfect family, perfect children, perfect,
Yeah.
the sort of facade of it, right?
I was going to say what it looks like on the outside is often actually not what it is on the inside.
I mean, or ever, right? I mean, I think my mom was actually my mother. She's probably going to listen to this and be like, "Ow!" But for us. It was every year the Christmas card picture, and I'm the oldest, and there 17 years start to finish between us, same parents. So they, I don't know, there's only four of us, but it's just a big gap. So everybody, it was like the day that we were doing it, everybody was miserable because we had to look a certain way, we had to smell a certain way.
Mm,
And it was
mm.
like by the end of it, almost everybody was in tears. And it's just like that was like the big drop, like joke of it. It's like, yes, the card looks great, but
But we almost killed each other trying to get the picture.
totally. And I've had those experiences, of course, especially when your kids are young and you can't get two of them to look in the same direction, let alone like smile or sit still.
Exactly. Oh my gosh,
So,
funny.
so fun. What a treat, Kimberly.
I know. Can we talk about the Killer Author Club? Because you're coming on.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there on March 3rd.
I was going to look up the date,
I
but yay,
think
you
I
knew
think it's
it.
March
March
3rd.
3rd. Yes. So Killer Author Club, we stream it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then we also have it as a podcast later in the week. So
I love it. Tell everybody if they haven't heard of Killer Author Club. Tell us what that is.
yeah, so it's an author interview series I do with Heather Gudenkauf and Kara Ruda, and we have every other Tuesday night. We have some of your favorite thriller and suspense authors, including our Danielle.
I'm so
Um,
excited. I'm so excited to be there.
we talk about the book, no spoilers. So if you haven't read it yet, you can still watch it. And we talk about the book, we give some away, we do all sorts of fun stuff.
So fun. I'm really excited. It is March 3rd. I will be there with bells on. And thank you for having me on that too. That's so
Of
fun.
course. I'm excited.
Okay, everybody, now it's your turn to add your pinkies to our confession. Nothing, we had this conversation the other day. Nothing illegal. We don't want to know. Or if it's
Don't put
illegal,
it in
like,
writing.
yeah, exactly. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't put it in writing. But leave us a juicy confession of your own, and we will be back another day. Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.